don't spend all your money. You have to make continual investments in life. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything of value. I mean, even the gift of life is a gift. But, God or life or your parents, they had to create you. But it's better to pace yourself, not to pace yourself to stay always in your comfort zone. It is good to be outside your comfort zone sometimes, but it's not good to become a martyr. Often in my life, I felt that I just had to give, and then it was my responsibility. And I still feel that way, but it has to be balanced, because if you diminish yourself, then you don't have anything left to give. You become depleted. And when I was growing up, I was a good runner. My dad coached me, and he had kind of an extreme philosophy, which kind of, I think, burnt me out. I'm not making excuses, but he said every day you have to run your fastest, and because if you're not going forward in life, you're going backwards, and he didn't believe in any kind of easy days or rest days. I mean, when you're physiologically speaking, your body starts to break down if you don't give it a chance to heal. If you just keep pushing, and even emotionally, it's like if you that's why a lot of people go off diets, because they just are too strict. I mean, you have to be strict with yourself in life, because a lot of people are too easy on themselves and they make excuses. You have to be disciplined. You have to make what I call a quality decision. Other people have used that term also, obviously, so that it's like you can't always go with your feelings. You when you make a commitment on things, you do it whether you feel like it or not, because if you just did what you felt like, then it's possible you might not do much of anything. I mean, I think there's an intrinsic joy, of being active and being productive. So, we get joy out of that. But sometimes we just it's human nature to want to take shortcuts or be lazy, or take things for granted. So we have to, swim upstream sometimes and not always listen to our feelings. But we have to make sure, also metaphorically, not to give away, all our energy, all our money. What happens is that some people just respond to their inbox, and they are, as I said, just going along with everyone else's agenda. See, what happens is it's scary to take responsibility for your own life, which means take responsibility for your own thinking, your own planning. A lot of people want to go into victimhood, where they want to just follow what someone else does or pretend to, either way, and then just blame other people. But that's not the path to quality. It's you have to be willing to be a little bit lonely. I'll give you an example, another one. In my business, I have an amazing business, but it's kind of a difficult one to explain, and a lot of people kind of poo-poo it. I mean, some people, I think, frankly, are jealous because they see you being so committed to something and they don't want to have the same commitment to themselves. Some people just don't understand it. Some people don't have faith in you and faith in me. It's always surprised me, because I have faith in other people. It's always surprised me when people in my life have not had, faith in me. Some people, this is going to sound harsh, but it might not be true, but I believe it. The reason why I say it might not be true, because I have humility to realize that just because I believe it doesn't mean that other people believe it. But I believe that some people are almost incapable of getting outside their own goals to look at your goals and to have confidence that you can do something that doesn't make sense to them. Any kind of business that Peter Thiel talks about, 0 to 1, is going to look a little crazy at the beginning, because if it's a great business that's going to be disruptive, if it's obvious that someone would have already done it, and they say there's nothing new under the sun, but the world does come up with new technologies, blockchain, Internet of Things, and other things. I mean, social media was new at one time. I mean, radio was new at one time. Even fire was new, controlled fire for the human race. So when I say in the title, don't go give away all your money, trust other people, take feedback from other people, because in business, product market fit is the key. You have to get things that customers want, but also trust your own intuition. Like Steve Jobs, he didn't do market research, and Henry Ford said that if you asked people what they wanted, they would say a faster horse rather than a car. People do linear extensions from their own previous experience. That's why people, that road horses might say they want a faster horse rather than a car, because a car is kind of a visitor from outer space. It's kind of that's why people like Elon Musk, and that really changed the world, they are doing something that hasn't been done before. Like with Tesla, people have been short. I just did a recent podcast on Tesla and Elon Musk and his grand plan part 2, which he's implementing now. But it's people love to be a critic. Like they love to short Tesla and say, well, it doesn't make sense because it doesn't follow our formula that we're used to. But Elon Musk has kind of like a new formula. Like people thought electric cars were like golf carts. First they thought electric cars couldn't be, quote unquote sexy. And then they thought that they couldn't be affordable. And then they didn't think this and that. And it's like, when you're going to challenge the status quo, like it's important to challenge the status quo, but only if you're right. And you don't know if you're right until you get into it, obviously. But, Elon Musk had 3, failed launches of SpaceX. He put all his own money into it, and he actually had to borrow rent from somebody to actually survive. He'd put all his money. I'm not recommending that. I mean, the title of this is Save Some Money to Reserve, because you have to have the humility that you could be wrong. But if you believe in what you're doing and you incorporate the feedback and you make adjustments, but you still believe in what you're doing, because you see like the progress, even if other people see it but don't see it as much. Like, I'm just using Tesla because it's a very visible example, but there's so many other examples. Like, Tesla has had amazing progressions, but people still didn't see it. They still wanted to short the company, Theodore Roosevelt, and now everyone agrees that like Tesla is disruptive. I mean, the shorts have, I think, mostly gone away, but just more recently. Theodore Roosevelt said that, I think it was him, that, the man, which is also obviously the woman in the arena, people love to be a critic and throw stones and say, this is bad. But that's lazy. I mean, why spend your life and your psychic energy, just criticizing other people rather than building something great yourself? Gary Vaynerchuk says that he would rather build the tallest building in town rather than, try to level everybody else's. They say either to be successful, you can either build a great building or you can destroy everybody else's building so nobody else can do anything. And there's one other thing, if I can think about it. I guess that's it for now.